There's still a lot of talk also around Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who did not qualify for Thursday's debate. Today, Democrats are intensifying their efforts to block the independent presidential candidate from appearing on the November ballot in all 50 states. All this as the Kennedy campaign reported its weakest month of fundraising this year, raising less than $3 million in May. NewsNation correspondent Joe Khalil continues our coverage. Joe, the Kennedy campaign claims they've met the requirements to appear on the ballot in 19 states, but at this point, only a handful of those petitions have been certified.
Yeah, so the math gets a little bit tricky there, Brooke. And let's remember the reason, in part, that RFK Jr. is not going to be on that debate stage Thursday is because he has not yet been qualified officially on the ballots in enough states to win 270 electoral votes or win the White House, actually. And the biggest challenge as he continues to try to get his name on more states' ballots is partly these lawsuits he's running up against from the DNC, the Democratic National Committee. Now, we've spoken to some folks at the DNC. They say that there are simply some states where the Kennedy campaign is not following the rules properly to get on the debate stage. He says, however, he continues to maintain this is just a petty and politically driven effort to keep him off the ballot in certain states because he says he is a threat to President Biden's reelection. We have reached out to his campaign today, RFK Jr.'s campaign, that is. We've not gotten any word yet back from them on where they are at this moment. But this is what RFK Jr. told our Dan Abrams just a week or so ago about this fight that he's facing.
Dan, we're not filing our signatures immediately because, for strategic reasons, we're going to hold them to the end because the DNC then calls up everybody on the signature list and tries to, get them to cancel their signatures. So we have to get 3 or 4 times what the state requires in order to protect ourselves.
So, Brooke, let's break this down here. These 7 states in green are where the states themselves have confirmed RFK Jr. is on the ballot. 7. Now, the Kennedy campaign says that they've already turned in enough signatures to qualify for 21 states, and they've got this running map on their campaign's website. However, not all of those 21 states have officially certified those signatures. They got to check them to make sure they're real and they're legit. And just in we're not showing you all 21, but just the battleground states here, as you can see, he's confirmed in Michigan. He is on the ballot in Nevada. But you think about places like Pennsylvania, like Wisconsin, like Georgia, other states that are certainly going to decide the election for Biden or Trump one way or another. He could play a spoiler potentially in those states. He is not yet qualified for those ballots as he continues again this fight. Now, we reached out to the DNC, as we mentioned. We did get a statement from them here. I'm going to read part of it. They say, quote, RFK Jr. was recruited to run by MAGA Republicans. He's being propped up by Trump's largest donor. His campaign staff has said their goal is to hurt President Biden. He has no grassroots support and no real path to 270. RFK Jr.'s campaign is resorting to a pattern of deception and shortcuts to circumvent state rules for independent candidate ballot access. So that is what the DNC is saying as to why they continue, Brooke, to mount these legal challenges to RFK in a number of different states.
Yeah, and Joe, to that point, there's been such a back and forth between RFK and his campaign and the Democrats. Has the Kennedy campaign issued any complaints, though, against the Trump campaign or Republicans?
Yeah, they have, not to the extent that he says that Democrats are trying to block his access. But there was a moment where he actually filed an official complaint with the FEC, the Federal Election Commission, alleging that both the Biden and the Trump campaign were colluding with each other and CNN to keep him off the debate stage. And he actually said that it was illegal and that it was a campaign finance violation because he says both campaigns were getting an illegal benefit from CNN. Now, so far, that complaint hasn't really held water with the FEC. They have not pursued that. But he claims that it's both the Trump and Biden campaigns coming after him. However, it's pretty clear the DNC, in a much more heavy-handed way, has been trying to block his access in a number of states.
Absolutely. They seem concerned, if you will. All right, Joe Khalil, thanks so much for that report.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.